Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Arden Progressive School, going to start another topic of the same chapter, that is Kingdom Plante or the Plant Kingdom. Okay, so in this series we are studying from the lower to the higher one according to the five kingdom classification, and according to it, this Kingdom Plante we are studying five division. Okay, so under this chapter how many division we have to do? Five divisions. What are they? Starting from the Thallophyta, okay, or we can say the algae, then Bryophyta, and then Pteridophyta, then Gymnosperms and Angiosperm. As we have discussed in our previous classes, that whenever there will be evolution of the plant kingdom, it has been started from where? From the water. Okay, so most of the plants, they have originated from where? From the aquatic condition, and the first one, it will be the Thallophyta. But what they will be? They will be the Thallophyta, or we can say these are the algae, right? So as we are moving upward, in the evolution, what we are getting, that they are trying to adapt themselves in the soil surface, okay, in the terrestrial layer. So initially they started from where? From the aquatic condition, and examples we have studied, and the division which we have studied, that one was the algae. Okay, under the algae we have done three different types of algae: green algae, brown algae, and red algae. Okay, their habitat also, their economic importance also. Today we are going to start another division, that as they are moving upward towards the soil area. Okay, it means that those plants, they have first tried to move towards the terrestrial area. What are they? This will be the second division. Okay, so what we can say, these bryophytes, they are the second division, and they are also known as the amphibians of plant kingdom, right? What do you mean by amphibians? Amphibians means those who can dwell both in land as well as in water, but for their reproduction they are dependent on water, right? So here what is going to happen? In case of algae, we know that reproduction takes place only and only in water, and their habitat is also water. But as we are moving upwards towards the bryophyta, okay, or the bryophytes, so it means that those plants, they can live both in land as well as water, but again for their sexual reproduction they are dependent on the water. Okay, it means that if there will be the dispersal of spore will take place, it will take place only in water, and the fertilization will also going to take place inside the water only. Okay, and under this bryophytes, we are going to study two examples. What are they? It will be the mosses and the liverworts. Okay, so in mosses, we will study that the one example, that is Mertensia. Okay, and likewise in the liverworts, we are going to do example, that is the mosses. Okay, so what we are going to study here initially, that non-vascular embryophytes. Okay, the first point about the bryophytes, what are they? Non-vascular. Why we are saying non-vascular? It means that their body is in direct contact with the water, or wherever they have to take the nutrients, right? So what we can say, that they are non-vascular. They don't have any tissues like xylem and phloem. We know that in the angiosperms, okay, in the higher plants, as we are moving upwards. So after biophytes, we will study pteridophytes. From pteridophytes, we will study gymnosperms and angiosperms. So it means that in gymnosperms and angiosperms, they are having good vascular system. It means that they are having the xylem and phloem, which is absent in case of bryophyta. Okay, so what we can say, that they are the non-vascular embryophytes. Embryophytes means that there will be no xylem and phloem, right? Then comes to the independent gametophyte and parasitic sporophyte. As we all know that, as in the lower plants, their plant body is what? Haploid in condition. It means that if I will talk about the algae also, the main plant body is haploid, right? Like in case of bryophytes also, they are having the main plant body which is haploid in nature, right? And after this haploid, as we are studying here, what we are studying, that this main plant body, that is haploid, and what we are calling it, we are calling it gametophyte. Okay, what is it? Gametophyte. So what is the role of this gametophyte? It will forms the gamete. Okay, it will forms the gamete, male gamete and female gamete. After the gamete formation, okay, is going to form? First, there will be fusion of this male and female gamete, and due to this, there will be formation of zygote, which will be the 2 and in number. Okay, we all know about it, that these are what? These are the haploid, because the main plant body is also haploid. So what will happen? They will form haploid gametes, right? So how they will form the haploid gametes? By the mitosis division, because here also it is haploid and the gamete also it is haploid, right? Then fusion of male and female gamete, it will form the zygote. Now from here what is going to happen? It will form the sporophyte. Right? What is going to form? Sporophyte. Then after the sporophyte, this sporophyte again it's diploid in nature. So what will be the division here? Again it is having the mitotic division. Now because it is diploid in number, the time is required that there must be a formation of the other spores, right? So what is going to happen? Then there will be meiosis. Okay, so due to this meiosis, what will happen? We will get the haploid spores, and later on these haploid spores will get germinated and it will form again the gametophyte, which is haploid in structure, right? So this is the whole thing which we know about the life cycle. But in algae, what happened there, the gametophyte was also the haploid. They form the gametes, they form the zygote also, but in algae there will be no formation of any other structure, just like sporophyte. It means that in algae this zygote will act as a sporophyte. Okay, in bryophyte, the sporophyte is what? It is diploid in structure. Okay, or it is multicellular. But in case of algae, directly this zygote and will undergo the meiosis and it will form the spores. This is the difference between algae and the bryophytes, that there will be no formation of the such body-like structure in the sporophyte. Means that this zygote will act as a sporophyte in case of algae. Okay, so this can be asked in the examination. What is that sporophyte which is only the unicellular? We all know that zygote is what? It is unicellular. So what is that sporophyte which is unicellular? It is in case of algae. But in case of bryophyte, there will be formation of one structure. Okay, it will form one structure which is known as the sporophyte, and this sporophyte undergo the meiosis. Then there will be formation of these spores here. And what are the sporophyte which can form the spores? What is gametophyte which can form the gametes, right? So here in this fungi, in this bryophytes, we will study one sporophyte condition. Okay, and after this sporophyte we will get the same cycle, right? So here independent gametophyte and parasitic sporophyte. It means that gametophyte is what? Main plant body, and on this main plant body there will be formation of another sporophyte. Okay, so it means that this gametophyte, it is green in color, but this sporophyte structure, it is non-green in color. As it is non-green in color, so for its nourishment or nutrition, it is dependent on the gametophyte. Okay, so what we can say, this gametophyte is independent, means that it is not going to dependent on the sporophyte, but yes, the sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte. That's why it is parasitic in nature, right? Now we will study about the general features of the bryophytes here. Then one by one we will discuss the example also. So let's come here. The first characteristics which we are studying all the division, that is a habitat. Okay, where these things are dwelling. So we can say that they can be found in the moist area. It means that they should place or they should be located just near the water condition, so that there must be a moist condition maintained. Okay, so here what we can say, they can be found in the moist shaded areas, and we can say that these are the amphibians of plant kingdoms also, because they can live both land and water, but for their sexual production they need water only. Okay, then comes to the thallus. As we are saying that body is undifferentiated in case of algae. Okay, in algae what we have done, that body is not differentiated, that's why it is a thallus like. Okay, so now in bryophytes there will be some differentiation as compared to the algae, but still there is no such clear cut differentiation. Okay, so in case of bryophytes what is happening, they are more advanced than algae but less advanced than the higher one, that is the teratophytes. So what we can say, still the body is thallus like. Okay, but this thallus can be the prostrate or it can be the erect. Okay, it means that they can lie horizontally also and they can lie in the erect position also. Okay, but still they are attached to the substratum, attached to the surface, and in algae we have done that they are not having proper roots, stems and leaves. Okay, hold fast was there, but this hold fast function is just to attach with the substratum, no any function, just like a root for the absorption. Okay, so here in case of bryophytes you will see that some rhizoids like structures are there. What they are having? Rhizoids, it means that they are having some root like structure arising here. Okay, whether it is this type of thallus or this erect thallus, right? So whatever it is, they are having some rhizoids, and these rhizoids can be unicellular also. If I will draw the structure here, okay, if I will draw the structure, it can be unicellular, okay, or it can be the multicellular also, right? So here under the bryophytes we have to understand liverworts and the mosses. So we will study that what type of rhizoid they are present in the liverwort and what type of rhizoids they are present in the mosses. So generally we can say yes, rhizoids are present in case of bryophytes and they will act like a root. So what is the function of root? The function of root is just to absorb the water, okay, absorb the nutrient. So whatever the nutrients they are required get absorbed by the rhizode, but they are in direct contact with the soil. Okay, it's just suppressed it. So here we can say that the thallus is prostrate, erect, or the rhizoids they are present, it can be unicellular or the multicellular, and function is what? For the absorption of the nutrients. Okay, now comes to the sex organ. It means that whenever we are talking about the sex organ, we are talking about that how there will be formation of the individual or the next progeny. So here the main plant body, as we have discussed, it is haploid in nature. As it is haploid, what it is a gametophyte. As it is gametophyte, it is going to form the gametes. Okay, that much we have done. Now this sex organ which is multicellular, it means that the thing which we have discussed here with this one, it will become what? It will become multicellular. So from here we can say that the male as well as female, the male part body you will call it antheridium, and the female it is going to be archegonium. So antheridium will be just like cup like structure and archegonium is what? It is somehow flask like structure. So what will happen? We all know that if it is a female structure, okay, if this is the one of the thallus, right, it is having this structure, I'm just drawing it here like this, and this is the male structure which is just like cup like structure. Okay, so from here this is one of the thallus and this one is the another thallus. So it means that both the reproductive unit they are situated in different thallus, just like we have done monoecious and the dioecious. Okay, just we have done the unisexual and the bisexual, right? In bisexual we know that we are having two reproductive structure in the same, but unisexual only one, right? So here what we can say, two thallus are there. Okay, from the male thallus what will happen? This antheridium, okay, this part what we'll call it antheridium, and this antheridium will release what? They will release male spores which we are going to say anthrozoids. What are they? These are what? These are the anthrozoids, and as they need water for their sexual reproduction, so water is also there. Okay, so from here these anthrozoid will move and will enter inside the female one which will known as archegonium, and here there will be the egg cell and the fertilization will take place. Okay, so once the fertilization will take place, what is going to happen? That it will form the zygote, and after the zygote it will form the sporophyte. Okay, so it means that on the main plant body, which is known as the gametophyte, there will be formation of another structure. After this fusion, there will be formation of sporophyte. Okay, which is located just above the gametophyte. So you can see that gametophyte as well as the sporophyte. Okay, and it is taking nutrition from the gametophyte. Okay, so what we have done, that antheridium is there, male, as well as archegonium for the female. Now comes to the examples. Example is what? Liverworts and mosses. So if I will start with the first example, that is the liverwort. Okay, so in liverwort, same condition will be there. What is it? The habitat. The habitat is what? As it comes under the bryophytes, so they can be found in the moist, shady places. And examples are very, very important. So what can be the examples under the liverworts? It can be the Riccia and the Markensia. Okay. So if you will go through the NCERT, you will see that there is one structure. Okay. There is one structure of Markensia. Okay. There are two bodies. You can see that some rhizoids are present, and this one is the male thallus and the female thallus. Okay, and just like above to it, you can see that one structure is present. Okay, and in this structure, what you are calling it? You are calling it the anthridiophore, and this one you are calling it archegoniophore. So what do you mean by this term? It means that anthridiophores, these are the things which can bear anthridium. Okay, it means that they are bearing anthridium here. That's why this is known as what? Anthridiophore. Okay, and just like this, it is placing the archegonium, which is flower shaped. Okay, so you can imagine that so many archegonium, they are present here, so that's why we are calling it archegoniophore. Okay, now in the reproduction can be done by different methods, in case of liverwort also, in case of mosses also. So if I will start with the reproduction, just like asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means that there is no need of any sexes. So what can be here? Fragmentation. Fragmentation is what? If there will be fragment of any part from here, each fragment is able to give rise a new plant or new individual. So condition can be fragmentation also. Okay, any thallus parts will get any fragmented. Or the second condition, it can be gamma. Very, very important. So gamma formation takes place, or gamma is the feature of which one? So your answer will be what? Specifically, they are what? They are the Markensia. Okay, or they are the liverwort. So here what we are studying? First Markensia example. So in case of Markensia, you can see that at the surface there will be formation of the cup-like structure. Okay, cup-like structure. Here also you can see cup-like structure. So in this cup-like structure, there will be formation of bird-like structure inner to it. Okay, so what you are calling them? You are calling them gamma cups. What you are calling them? Gamma cups. And inside the gamma cups, there will be the gamma birds. Right? So when they will detach from the thallus, they will give rise to a new plant. Okay, so we can say that this is also a type of asexual reproduction. So fragmentation can also be possible, and the formation by the detachment of this gamma also. Okay, so I written here gamma is what? It is a green in color and they are multicellular. Again, this question is important. Okay, main plant body is here, it is the haploid, but if I will talk about this gamma, they are what? They are the multicellular. Okay, and they are what? They are the asexual bird. It means that in this gamma, some birds are present. When they will get detached from the body, they will give rise to a new plant. Okay, so that much we have completed. Now comes to the sexual reproduction. So here, for the sexual reproduction, we said there is a need of male and female sex organ, which is placed in different thallus. So what you can say, this is the male thallus, okay, and this one is the female thallus. Right now I discussed you that from this anthridiophore, and here this is the anthridium. From the anthridium, the spore will go towards the archegonium. Okay, in this archegonium, for archegonium is present, just like this thing we have done, that if this is a flower shaped, what will happen, it contains the axil, and from this antheridium, this antherozoids will come here and it will fuse with the axil. Due to this, there will be formation of zygote. We can relate from here. This main condition is what? This one is also haploid, this one is also haploid. This one is also gametophyte, this one is also gametophyte. From this gametophyte, male gametophyte, the male spore is coming towards the female gametophyte. Okay. Now there will be fusion of male and female gamete. Due to this, there will be formation of zygote. So I am just denoting like this. There will be formation of zygote, which is 2n in number, and which is unicellular. Okay. Now from this zygote, what is going to form? It will form one structure which is known as the sporophyte. Okay. Again, it is diploid due to the mitotic division. What is going to form? It will form the sporophyte structure, which is diploid in number, and inside the sporophyte there will be formation of spores. So here you can see that such type of structure will lie upon this thallus, and the main plant body, it is known as what? It is known as gametophyte, as they are forming the gamete. Just here in the sporophyte, they are going to form the spores. Okay, they are going to form the spores. Now you can see that this gametophyte is green in color always, but sporophyte, it is non-green in color. So this sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte for their nourishment. When the condition will be favorable, this sporophyte will get ruptured and it will release the spores. Right, all these spores will be haploid, because after the meiosis in this sporophyte there will be meiosis. Due to this meiosis, there will be formation of haploid spore inside it, and when it will get ruptured, these spores will get released into the atmosphere and it will get germinated and it will form again a haploid gametophyte. Okay, so this is the whole sexual life cycle of the Mergansia here. What we have understood, the distinct feature, formation of gamma cup is also there, and here there will be formation of sporophyte structure which is having 3 parts. Okay, so you can see that this sporophyte having 3 parts. What are they? Capsule. Okay, what you will call it? Capsule. Then in near to it, it's a foot. Okay, and this one is the seta. So we can say that sporophyte having 3 parts. What are they? They are known as the foot, seta and capsule, and inside the capsule what is happening? There will be meiosis and it will release the spores. Okay, now examples are important, Riccia and Mergansia. So this is the first type of the bryophytes. Now is the mosses. So we have done already the first thing, that is the liverworts about the Mergansia. Under this mosses, you must have seen that just mat-like structure you can found in the places or in the rocks. So what are they? These are the mosses. So mosses are what? These are the dense mat-like structure, and again if it comes under the bryophytes, it needs some moist condition. So we can say that in the moist shady places it can be found. Okay, now comes to the main plant body. The main plant body of the bryophytes, they are haploid, which is known as the gametophyte. Okay, so here also in the mosses, the main plant body or the predominant stage, it will be gametophyte. It means that in the whole life cycle you will see that there will be more haploid condition. It means that if it is a main plant body, from here it will form the gametophyte. Okay, or the gametes. So this is what? This is the gametophyte, and from this gametophyte there will be formation of gametes. Right, due to the fusion of gametes it will form zygote, and from zygote, as I have said in case of bryophytes, it will form sporophyte structure. Okay, again I am recalling, this is a sporophyte like structure which is having the foot, seta and capsule in Mergansia. Now from the sporophyte, what is happening? As it is also diploid, so there will be the meiosis, and due to this meiosis they will form the spores, and these spores again they are haploid, and again they are going to form the gametophyte. Okay, so this is the whole life cycle which happens in the bryophyte. So here if you can see that for most of the time only there is one stage where you can see this diploid condition. Okay, otherwise the predominant stage is what? It is only the gametophyte, right? And we can say haplontic life cycle also. We all know, we have done the alternation of generation, that there will be changes from gametophyte to sporophyte, sporophyte to the gametophyte. So if this is the gametophyte stage, so you can see that there can be two stages, protonema stage and the leafy stage. Now what is the difference here in the mosses? You must have done right now that after the sporophyte they are forming the spores, but in case of mosses, instead of forming, after forming the spores, they will not directly form the gametophyte. What I said, that in mosses directly these sporophyte, these spores, they will not give rise to the gametophyte. So what is going to happen here? Here there will be formation of any other structure which is known as protonema, right? So here in mosses everything will be same, that gametophyte is their main plant body. From here two types of gametes will be there, male gamete, female gamete, fusion of male female gamete, zygote formation. From zygote it will form one structure which is known as sporophyte. This sporophyte will form the spores, but now from the spores it will form a new structure which is known as protonema, and this protonema is just green in color and having the creeping nature. It means that it is going to grow horizontally on the surface. So what we have said, what we have added here, that there will be formation of green color structure which is known as the protonema, and after this, in this protonema they will form the primary protonema, then it will form the secondary protonema. So secondary protonema having the lateral buds. Okay, so when these birds will arise from this protonema, so when these birds will detach from here, they will give rise to the gametophyte, because protonema is also what? It is also a haploid in nature, right? So from these spores they will form different protonema. From the different protonema they are having different birds, and these birds will give rise to again the gametophyte. So this is the change which we have to keep in our mind, right? So what we have observed, that gametophyte is always green in color, we have said, and the sporophyte, they are non-green in color. So two stages are there, protonema stage, okay, which we have done the stage, and this part is what? Leafy stage, in which some leaf-like structures are present. Okay, so protonema are what? Develops from the spores. You can see that from these spores directly these protonema can be developed. Second point, this protonema is green in color and having creeping habit, that is creeping green, and it can be branched also, or it can be in form of filaments also, right? So this is about the protonema. Then comes to the leafy stage. Leafy stage is what? It just developed from the secondary protonema. So right now I said to you that protonema, first it will form the primary protonema, and after primary protonema there will be formation of secondary protonema. In secondary protonema they are having as a lateral bud. Okay, so what will happen? This leafy structure they are developing from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud, and after this it will form this upright structure. So if you will compare with the Mertensia, there you can see that rhizoids, they are the unicellular, but here again rhizoids are present as it comes under the bryophytes, but these rhizoids, they are the multicellular. Okay, so what we can say, that yes, the thallus, which was somehow horizontal in position in the previous one, but now the thallus is just erect. Okay, and you can see that some leaf like structure is present here in this erect thallus. Okay, so what is this? They are having the erect thallus. Okay, and this having the leafy like structure, and it is arising from where? From the secondary protonema after the formation of the lateral buds. Okay, so this is what? This is just upright and slender axis bearing spirally arranged. So you can see that all the leaves, they are arranged spirally here, and again they are also having the rhizoids. It is just like root like structure. And what is the function of rhizoids? They are for the absorption of nutrients, and here in case of the mosses, these are multicellular as well as the branched one, right? Now comes to the reproduction. Reproduction means that forming again and again. So here the first method, it can be vegetative. It means that fragmentation. So if any of the part will get and divided into different fragment, each fragment is able to give rise to a new mosses here. Again, what is the another method? By budding method. You know that in the protonema, after this formation of secondary protonema, they will form the lateral buds. Okay, so these lateral buds, when they will get detached from the protonema, what is going to happen? They will give rise to a new plant. Okay, so what we can say, that budding method is also there, and by budding in the secondary protonema. Comes to the sexual reproduction. Again, it's the same thing. In Mergantia, we said that the male thallus and the female thallus, they are in the different position. Okay, it means that male gamete as well as female gamete, they are at the different thallus. So here in this case, if this is a male as well as female, they are present on the same thallus. Okay, just like the bisexual condition. So here the male one, it is known as antheridium or the antheridia, they are going to produce, and in the archegonium they are having the archegonia. Okay, so all these are present at the apex of the leafy stage. So this condition is what? Leafy stage, and this condition is what? Protonema stage. So both of the male as well as, if we will consider that one of them is male and one of them is female, so what is going to happen? The spores, it will come from this male to the female part, okay, which is having the archegonium like structure, and here axil is present. So by the fusion of these two, they will form again the zygote, which is diploid in number. Make sure this one is also a haploid main plant body, which is gametophyte. Okay, so in this gametophyte, what is happening? That there will be the fusion of male and female, and it will form the zygote, and from this zygote, what it is going to form? It is going to form sporophyte. Okay, so here also, just like the Barketia, you can see that one sporophyte like structure is present. Okay, so when the sporophyte structure is present, so again it is having the fruit seta and capsule. Okay, so inside this capsule there will be formation of spore. So what we can say, that due to the fusion of this antheridia and archegonia, there will be formation of zygote. From the zygote there will be formation of sporophyte. Okay, so on the main plant body there will be formation of sporophyte, okay, which is diploid and also multicellular. Now there is a need that it should be undergo the meiosis, and it will form the spores inside this capsule. Okay, so what we have done, that in case of the sporophyte which is developing here, it is more elaborate than the sporophyte which is developing in the liverworts. Okay, and this one is again dependent on the sporophyte. It means that the sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte, because sporophyte is developing into what? The main plant body, and the main plant body, it is green in color, but sporophyte is, it is non-green in color. So it derives its nutrition from where? From the gametophyte. Okay, so this is all about the bryophytes, under which we have done two things. Now comes to the economic importance. Economic importance means that how they are useful. The first thing is that it can be act as a food. How? Because those who are dependent on the herbaceous, all the mammals, they are dependent on the herbaceous plant, so they can take it as a food also. Okay, then comes to the another one, sphagnum. Sphagnum is again the example of this bryophyte, and when we are crushing them and forming the peat-like structure, so they can used as a fuel. And sometimes the sphagnum, it is having very good capacity to hold the water. So if it is having good water holding capacity, so we are using it as a packaging material. Okay, so it means that if they have to transshipment, or they have to move some thing from one places to another places, so condition can be hard. So that time, if there will be any rainfall, so the main thing will get protected with the sphagnum. So that's why we are using it for the transshipment as a packaging material. Okay, then comes to the third one, biological succession. It means that where there is no plant, so initially these mosses start growing above it. Okay, so what is happening, that where you can see that in the bar rocks, if these are the rocks, what happens, that initially there is no vegetation. So first time, if vegetation has to start, so these mosses, they will cover these rocks as a carpet like structure. Okay, now once they have formed, we can say that there will be growth of the lichens also, which is the combination of algae and fungi. So due to all this growth, what will happen, that it will release the toxin. Due to the release of toxin, what it is going to do, it will going to break down this rock. So breakdown of rocks, what will happen, formation of some soil like structure. So this one will act as a biological succession. It means that if it has to succeed or if it has to start it, so from where it will start, from this part only. Okay, so here once it will get break down and from the soil, so it will be easier for the higher plants to grow it here. Okay, that's why you can see that in the hilly areas it will form. So initially it has been formed the mosses here, then after lichens, then there will be formation of the higher plants, right? So biological succession is also done by the these bryophytes. Then comes to the prevent soil erosion. So once they are grow in a dense form, okay, once the carpet like structure is formed above to it, what will happen, it will bind the soil. Okay, it will bind the soil, and due to this it is preventing the soil erosion also. So we can see that in how many forms they are important for the human also, right? So today we have completed the bryophyte.